how do you make a transition to a society without fossil fuels? And I know it is a difficult conversation, but we have to have this conversation. Why do we have to keep investing in more cars and buses and trains and taxis that use gasoline? Why don't we just say goodbye to it and just electrify the whole thing?
You cannot live without smartphone. So things are changing without your control. So as you cannot live without smartphone anymore, you will not be able to live based on fossil fuel. It'll change. It'll change.
Never before in our history did we have so many installations of renewable energy capacity around the world. Half of this is happening in developing countries.
We need to consider the status quo as being untenable. Sahel came up with a quote a little early on today. The Stone Age didn't end because we ran out of stone. And we shouldn't be waiting to run out of oil to put an end to the era of fossil fuel.
It's going to be an expensive funeral. I mean, how can you forget that kind of headline?
The reason why governments should invest in new technologies is that we are now entering a new economy, and in this new economy there will be leaders and there will be followers. If you want to be the leader, then your country, you should be ahead, you should invest, because that will give your companies, your startups advantage.
Financing, although everybody says it's a challenge, that's actually not the real challenge. The real challenge is actually putting together a bankable project. And that's what the panel has been focusing on.
I think for transformation to happen, three things are most important: policies, financing, and technology.
There are, of course, good arguments to be made, and were made by some of our donor agencies, to say that we cannot at this point discard all our existing practices and all our existing resource bases in order to leap to the new technologies. Others, however, suggest that without the imagination and without the determination to make those changes happen fast, we'll never reach the point that we need to reach in the time frame that we have.
What in the end I would remember the most is the excitement in the faces of very young attendees. You know, it's incredible when you have these conversations with people, you know, when their eyes shine.